Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Vobes show. Yes, here he is, the old Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi, live and direct on Facebook. Yes, indeed, it's me, the one-eyed bald bloke who does this show Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, though not next Monday because I shall be staying in a hotel somewhere in Essex. And I will not be available. So this is the last show this week. Then Wednesday there's likely to be a show, but I can't guarantee it because Wednesday I'm at the Big Cat Sanctuary if all things go well. So it may be that not until next Friday you get a show, but don't worry, we'll sort out some other method of getting a show to you in one way or another. But for the moment, yes, the next 58 minutes or so, because the minute hand is counting, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be thrilled to know that time is already running out. Already it's coming towards the end. Although, you know, a little bit of a journey to go before we get to the end. But we're on our way. We're on our way to the climax of today's show, which is very exciting, I have to admit. Not for me, but for you. Because you'll know that, thank goodness, you have the whole evening now, thereafter, from 9 o'clock to yourself to do whatever it is that you do. And I don't know what it is you do, but whatever you do, I'm sure you do it. Yes, indeed. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've noticed that, I am on my lonesome todsome. I am on my own. The lovely Julia is not here. The Mr. Suggett is not here. We do not have Dump Man in the studio. We have no one but me, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that's going to be okay. We're not cooking, we're not doing any of that sort of stuff. I'm not even planting trees today, ladies and gentlemen. Not doing any of that. It's just me and you and a few subjects to have a good natter about. I've got a couple of things lined up for you to have a look at and something to read out to you. Yes, indeed. Should be relatively harmless this evening, so I hope that's all right. Let's find out if anybody's actually here. Let's find out if we are actually broadcasting to the world and see if anything's happening. Let's just close a couple of windows here, which are probably draining the laptop of all speech and preparedness. And I noticed that Joe Smith, hello Joe, nice to see you. I was only chatting to Joe on the phone earlier today, which is very nice. Mr. Suggett was the first in, I noticed. Hello Mr. Suggett, how are you? Very good to see you. Chris Puller is saying good evening Chris, I hope you're well. Andrew Graham, good evening. Oh, good evening Chris. Steve Pilfold, no sound coming out, the speakers are off. Oh, can you not hear me? Can nobody hear me? Am I talking to myself? Don't worry me like that. Bridget is there. Hello, Bridget Herbal. Nice to see you. Nice. Hi, gang. How is everyone? No one else is complaining about the speakers, so that's good. Good evening, says Robert Croser. Is that how you pronounce your name? Let's hope I've got that. Anne Osborne is there. Nigel Sadler, just having my supper, so see you shortly. Oh, why don't you have your supper in front of the old laptop and enjoy the show that way? Mark English, good old bless him, Mark English, all the way from overseas, the pond. I was only watching today how he was putting a $1 bill onto was it Miami Beach somewhere, shoving it onto somewhere with a whole lot. Now I thought, you know, if it was me, I would have a third arm. Not that I've got a third arm, but as one arm is staple gunning a $1 bill to a thing like that, the other arm is carefully taking off half a dozen others, so that, you know, for $1 you make 20. I thought that would have been a sensible thing, but obviously Mr. Trick there. Good old Mark. Anyway, it's nice to have you back in the country. After all, there was a horrible storm blowing over there. I was getting ever so worried. I was biting my nails. I was pulling my hair out. It was... Well, when I say pulling my hair out, I mean under my arms, you know, under my arms. Andy Dalgleish is there. Hello, chums, he says. Hello, chums. David Carey, evening all. Mark Selwood, we need brollies tomorrow. Why, is it going to rain tomorrow? What's happening tomorrow? Anything exciting happening tomorrow? I'm staying in. If it's raining, I'm staying. I'm not going out anywhere. Nowhere. No, I don't go out in the rain. Oh, blimey, I don't want to go out in the rain. It's cold. Cold, I tell you. Cold! No, there is something going on tonight. I have to look in my diary a bit later and see what that is. So that will be interesting. Let's have a look. What else have we got? John Berger, American greetings to all. Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, bum. Steve Pilfold says no sound, then realised my speakers were off. Okay, that's marvellous. Well, when my speakers went off, they never came back. They said, bye, had enough of this. Don't want to hear your voice coming out of us. And they hot-foot it, they did. They hot-foot it up onto the South Downs. So there we are. Anne Osborne says, I can hear you, Richard. Can you hear me? Yes, I can, Anne. All the way from Brighton, which is very nice. Paul Hine is out there, which is very good. Nice to see you there. Hello, handsome. He says, oh, hello. Nice. How are you doing? Mark Silver says, yes, Richard, yes, Richard, I can't hear you. Oh, what a shame. Put the pegs back in. And Bridget's saying, Guten Abend. Not quite sure what Guten Abend is, but it sounds very nice. Where's the lovely Eric? Richard! I've had to let the bees out, Richard! Oh, well, that's very nice. You must chase each of those bees and call them one by one as they come in on the roll call. You see, Eric is Eric Ubel up in Beathers. What is it? Bethersden, not Betherstone. That's a different place. That's much heavier and more dangerous. But Bethersden is the world capital of the honeybee, apparently. And Eric is no doubt out there in the pasture, calling them in. Calling them Adam, Andrew, Adrian, Amos, Anthony, Cleopatra. I can't think of all their names. He didn't tell me all of their names. He told me Elizabeth. That was one of them. So that was that. Matthew Holdsworth is here. Cynthia Walder, Serene, Sir, Your Majesty. Serene Diegelman is here, which is marvellous. Richard Innes is back in Blighty for over... I know you've been back in Blighty for over a week. I've emailed you, haven't I? I've emailed you. Well, I suppose I could have emailed you. And I knew you were back. I was just sort of welcoming you back officially, like, you know. I haven't quite got the red carpet organised at the moment. It's more a sort of threadbare carpet, but I could throw that at you. I could throw the threadbare carpet to you, and you could, you know, waft down, hello, yes, Mark English, Tales and Travels has returned with more pockets of goodness, videos of adventure, all that kind of stuff, because I'm sure we must have got loads of those. Very much looking forward to that. Emily Champion is just putting some eyes up there. What's going on? And Matthew Holwood says, Josh said that I should say hello to everyone and thank them for the nice comments. Yes, you should, Matthew. You should say everything. Josh, you are a star, by the way. Absolute star. Very nice to meet you. I really need to get your autograph, actually. Maybe you could get your dad to do the autograph. Maybe your dad could do the autograph on a cheque, you know, with 50,000 notes attached to it. That would be good. Just to keep the show up and running, you understand. Nothing malicious whatsoever. Steve Blakey, he says, the ball bloke. Hello, Steve. Still got to come to your house and do a show from your house at some... I know. It's like 1 minute I'm thinking of it, the next minute, oh, what was that thing I've got to do? And I must do it. Even the lovely Julia said, here, when are we going to go to Steve's house? And I said, well, we could do that game at Steve's house. A bit naughty, you know, knock on the door and leg it. Because, anyway, let's not go down that road. Bridget Ubel says, Eric is bee taming in Deutschland. Achtung! You will obey everything I say. Now fly! Fetch the honey! Bzzz. No, the honey, not the money! I can imagine him doing that. It'd be quite fun. It doesn't have to waggle a finger. I don't think you actually have to waggle a finger to train bees. You probably have little hoops. Oh, wait a minute. I could do it with polos, couldn't he? I could imagine him, you know, like you get performing dogs, you know, terriers drumping. You could have polos, little polos set up, and the little bees go buzz, and they go through the little polo. Buzz, be nice and minty fresh, wouldn't it? If they sort of got their gnashers out, they could clean them at the same time. It'd be very expressive. It's almost poetry, wouldn't it? The little bees flying through the hoops. The little polo hoops, or maybe going through what are those hula hoops? They could go through hula. Could they do what's that? You know, the hula hoop thing, the skirt thing where you jiggle and jiggle and jiggle like that, and you do the hula hooly. Maybe they could do that as well with a hula hoop. Make them spin in the air, spin. Marvellous. Marvellous what bees can be trained to do, ladies and gentlemen. I was thinking of buying some from Eric as little guard bees, in case I have my rat problem again. If any rats, the bees could hover around going, oh, look, a great big nasty rat. We'll go in and sting him. Boo! with their bottoms, you know. I thought that might be quite useful. Vic couldn't make it. He's got his cyanide nasal spray to stick up his nostrils. Vicky Allam says, you need a bigger board for all your postcards. Well, we haven't had any postcards for a while. We've had one from Maggie and Robbie, which was very nice. Thank you very much, Maggie and Robbie, by the way. Yeah, we need a bigger board. I've actually got some somewhere. I don't know where they are now. I've got some empty boards here. Look, empty board, does whatever an empty board can do. These are the boards that we used to have up there, and now they're empty. So we need, well, actually, we could do what Mark English was doing. Send a £1 coin and a nail. Actually, drill a hole in the £1 coin first. That'll make it a bit easier. And then instead of the $1, we'll put a £1 coin on the board. And we'll see how many £1 coins. No, that's not really going to work, is it? No, that's silly. Send a fiver. Send a fiver to the Vobes, and we'll see how many £5 notes we can get on there. How about that? That sounds a much better. Unless you've got a better idea. £20 note would, of course, been a better idea. But we'll think of something. We'll think of something else that we can collect from the lovely viewer and bung on there, because we've done postcards now. What else could we do? If you've got a suggestion, send it in. And richard@vobes.com. Try not to message me on the Vobe show, because I'll never see it. I don't look, you see. That's mainly why I never see them. But send me an email, richard@vobe-one-eyed-kenobi.com. That's it. And we'll think of something else that we can shove up there. And we'll collect all of those, and maybe we'll scan them in, or maybe I'm just making that up. So that's a good idea. Jason Beeching. Hello, Jason Beeching. I hope you are no relation to Dr. Richard Beeching of ye oldie railway cuts of 1960-something or other. 63, was it? Year of my birth. Lovely year that was. Emily Champion says, thanks to Vicky. Vicky says, get well soon. Emily, honey is good for sore throats. Have you got a sore throat, Emily Champion? Here is a nice cup of coffee, which is delicious. Linda Kane says, more wall. Yes, need to build more walls, really, I suppose. That would be the answer. Whereas Ian Beddoe says, what about sending fridge magnets? Well, you could send fridges. I'd need a fridge, first of all, to put the magnets on, to be honest with you. That would be true. Richard Suggett says, we could send you fireworks. Yeah, you could. Fireworks. Now, I don't know if you'd get those through the post, would you? We could say, could we want you fireworks ready for the 5th of November, he says. Could we? He's done it 3 times. Yes, I did read it the first time, but it's very kind of you to repeat yourself. I suppose you want paying, a bit like the BBC, you know, extra. What you should do is take a photo of each and put them on those electronic frames and have them rotating in the background. Well, maybe we could get people to send a photograph of yourself. That would be quite fun, wouldn't it? And then maybe we could... What could we do? One of those electronic boards that we could have up in the background. Or we could feature... I've got actually, I'll tell you what I have got. I've got a disused television over there. You can't see it, but on the other side of the studio, disused television. I know that sounds a bit weird, but like a big monitor. I mean, I don't use it really. But we could rig it up here. And what we could do is if you send a picture of yourself, you know, a selfie, we could have selfie of the night. And then we have the big selfie on the back there projected out. And we could go, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's selfie of the night. And, you know, we could do that. Just ideas at this stage. Nothing is mandatory. Nothing is mandatory at all. It's the 21st of September, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. And tomorrow is the big meet-up, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, I've made a graphic here. And we just want to ask here we go, look at this. I made this today. Oh, it took me ages to letter set those letters onto my computer. The Bald Explorer meetup. Yes, are you going to the Bald Explorer meetup? And if not, why not? Are you going to snub us like the lovely Cynthia Julian? Sorry, she's very busy. She said, I'm very busy. I can't possibly come. More of Cynthia Julian a bit later on, actually, funnily enough. But are you coming to the big meetup? Are you coming tomorrow? 12 o'clock at the Spread Eagle Pub in Liss in Hampshire. We'd love to know if you're coming. It's an opportunity to meet moi, the lovely Julia, and other people. There'll be other people. I don't know who they are. Some people who, every time I turn round, they're there. You know, they're following you. What are you doing? Do you leave me alone? What's this taking photographs malarkey? What? On a walk? Oh, yes, I've heard your sort. But they'll be there. They'll be there. A lot of those sort of people will be there, which would be nice, actually. I'm looking forward to it myself. Ian Beddoe says, hope Richards doesn't pay per text. Yes, that's true. Emily Champion is coming, even though she's got a sore throat. She'll be passing her illness to everybody. So that's nice. So make sure we all wear masks, like the Japanese do when they go out anywhere. Terry Bull is coming. Hello, Terry. Thank you very much. Terry Bull. Wait a minute. You can't be real, can you? Is that I'm Terry Bull? You can't be. That's not a real name, is it? Who's got a name like... who's got a terrible... I mean, it's a lovely name, Terry Bull. Steve Pilfold says, I've got a tutorial at Euston tomorrow, which is a bummer. Oh, well, I would take a couple of corks, stick them up there so that nothing goes wrong if you've got a bummer of a Euston tomorrow. Wendy Wakelin says she can't make it. She's too busy cleaning out the lovely Victoria, the Empress of China. So instead she's going to bring her brother, Wendy, who's a sort of facsimile of her. So that's lucky. Ian Beddoe says, want to meet Richard Suggett. We all want to meet Richard Suggett. Will the real Richard Suggett please stand up? Yes, that would be good. Actually, do you know Richard Suggett will be coming in a pot? Yes, he's going to plant himself somewhere at the Spread Eagle pub, and we're all going to go and water him. He's got into the veg growing a little bit too seriously, ladies and gentlemen, and we need him to lighten up just a little bit because he's put both legs into a pot, a lot of fertilizer, and we may not know what he is. He's going to be there as a mystery vegetable. So if we can find that out. Claire Leach has joined. That's nice. Malcolm Glazer says, I hope to meet you some other time, Richard. Yes. Oh, well, that's all right, Malcolm. There's no problem there. Claire Leach is clapping. Terry Bull says, terrible Terry Bull, he. Yes. Macintosh Pam says, I thought I was here, but I've gone off. Oh, not gone off again. Oh, have you disappeared, Macintosh Pam? That's a shame. Terry Bull says, actually, that's my real name. Oh, my goodness. Paul Hines says, we will be in Liss on the 22nd. Hope to see you en route. That's very mysterious. We will be in Liss, but we may not come by the Spread Eagle. Well, no, what do you say? Not that you won't be coming. Hope to see you on... What do you mean, en route? Are you not coming as coming, or are you swifting in? Swifting in? Are you swallowing? Anyway, it'd be nice to see you. So that's all good. Surprise Saturday, says Richard... Suggett. I don't know what that... Oh, it's a surprise vegetable. Cynthia Julian has made it. Hee-hee! Well done, Cynthia Julian. Cheers to you. Now, it's time for me to have a little swig of this. Now, got a few things to discuss with you, ladies and gentlemen, at 20 minutes past. No gallery, by the way, today. No gallery. Unfortunately, the lovely Julia said that she'd spent a lot of the time working out what the gallery is. And she hasn't emailed it to me. And I've been busy with, nail chewing and hair growing and eye polishing to actually do it myself. If you have a lackey, why do it yourself? That's what I say. And it's a good saying. But obviously it doesn't work because I didn't get the gallery in today. But never mind. She's the lovely Julia is on her rollerblades, her roller skates, her roller... shoes. I don't know what they are now. No, they're not inlines. They're not skates. They're not blades. They're boots. Her roller boots. On her roller bowler. So there we are. So that's very nice. So anyway, she's been too busy to do that, which is okay. So now, I'm just wondering what I'm going to... Oh, yeah, let's do the Ashurst thing first. Now, yes, let's do this. This is nice because it gives us a moment of hilarity. The other day, not yesterday, day before it was it yesterday? God, it's amazing how 24 hours can seem so long. In fact, it was yesterday. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Then I met up with Cynthia Julian, and she took me to see a nice 91-year-old, which was fantastic. And he was amazing. 91, born in 1927 he was. We made a video and he's going to show us all about that. And we went to a very interesting place. Here it is. This is Ashurst Church. Look at that. Beautiful, unusual church, if you like, made of flint and a bit of rubble. and some shingles on the top there, and a bit of Horsham stone round the back. Now, what was interesting is I haven't got any bits from the video, unfortunately, but don't let that worry you, because this bloke has lived in Ashurst, just north of Wiston and Stenning in West Sussex for a long, long time, since 1927. Was a family butcher and all of this, and he was telling us about this pub. Here's the pub, you see. It's called The Fountain in Ashurst. Very nice pub. In fact, Cynthia and I had a nice cup of coffee in there. It was very nice. They had the fire going and everything. Well, the funny thing was, he was saying he'd brought some pictures of what Ashurst used to look like. And here's a picture of what Ashurst used to look like. That's the pub, by the way, on the left-hand side. That's the pub. And there's the stables. And there's I don't know whether that's a dray horse and trap or just a horse and trap. I'm not quite sure, but there's a little horse and carriage there. Not carriage as such, but horse and cart. That'll do. Horse and cart, and it looks very nice. And I thought, oh, that's very interesting. I wonder if we can take a similar sort of picture. That's what it is today, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is today. And what it used to look like is that. Look at that. Almost time disappeared. So that is, I don't know when that is. That must be, 1920s when John Eaton, his name was, by the way, John Eaton, when he was a lad. And then this is what it looks like today with a couple of cars in there. It's amazing, isn't it? Now, the reason I've shown you that, ladies and gentlemen, is because we're talking to lovely Cynthia Julian, and we thought we need to find some more interesting walks, things we can do, particularly in the winter when it's a bit cold and jolly. And I said, why don't we do some more of these what it used to look like and what it looks like now, before and after sort of thing, going back. Find those locations, because on the internet, I've noticed on Facebook and various places, there's people going around taking pictures and they do all that, here's a picture of what it was. And I thought, well, we could do that, but combine it with a walk and make a video. That'd be, not every one of it, not every one, don't be silly, just every now and again, to find the pictures. So really, this is a bit of a plea. If you've got some old photos of your place where you live in Sussex or nearby or whatever, and or wherever you happen to be honest, maybe you could send those to me, richard@vobes.com, and I'll go back, take a picture of what it's really like, and do a walk around the place. And if you've got, 2 or 3 pictures, we could go to those places. And this is where the old, the community works. It's your place. We go there. Maybe you want to take me there and go, this was the old pub of 1832. And then we now look at it, it's a block of flats, whatever it is. And it's really just to show how life has changed, how things have progressed, whether things have got better or worse. I just thought it'd be a very interesting little topic to do on the Bald Explorer. So, if you've got a postcard, and if you want to, take me around to some places, we look at the old pictures, we compare them to the new pictures, have a bit of a natter, and it all will be well, and we'll make another video. And I think that'd be quite an interesting subject. What do you think? That's the question. What do you think? Robert Croser says, very nice, gave me a lot of notice, I'll come down. It would be lovely. Thank you very much. Nikki Jess says, hi, Anne. Nikki Jess saying hi to everybody. No doubt Nikki Jess will be saying goodbye before the end of the show, as she does. Mark says, thanks, Emily. You can be name sticker marker for the meetup. Oh, right. Are you all talking amongst yourselves again? Oi, pack it in. This is my show. You will not talk amongst yourselves. It's not good. You've got to think of other people. You've got to think of other people. The people who are coming to the show for the very first time, and they're thinking about making a comment, and they see everybody all clicky, and knowing everybody and talking to each other. This is just not on. It's not on. I won't have it. I'll have a strop. I'll sit over here like this and sulk. Yeah, but if I do that, of course, all you'll do is just start talking to yourselves, won't you? So there we go. Here is... hi, lovely Nikki. Hello, lovely Mark. Oh, hello, lovely Nikki. How you doing? Oh, I'm doing very well, lovely Mark. Oh, will you stop all that? Can you take all your love-making and put it somewhere else? That would be very nice. Thank you very much. Emily Champion says, I was just being helpful. I was just being helpful. No doubt Emily will give me a big slap tomorrow now. Now I've said all that. Mark, that's better, Mark. That's better. Mark says sorry. That's okay, Mark. You are completely forgiven. You're completely forgiven. I just hope these people don't take me seriously in this show. This is the worry, you see. Sometimes, I'll say some things, the old brain's acting at 100 clappers per second, and I'll say things, and then, the next breath I'll get an email saying, Dear Richard, you were really horrible to me on the show. Why are you picking on me? You horrible dirty man, you and your goggle eyes and your hair full of head and your big ears and your lobes and things. So don't take it too seriously. It's not personal. None of it's personal. Because obviously, you know, I'm just talking to a camera. As far as I'm concerned, I'm in my own padded cell again. Again? Oh, this is. I mean, at some point, I'll take the VR set off, and this virtual reality will just come back to, you know, back to Bedlam, and I'll be sitting there with the doctors coming in with their bright lights and their thermometers and their strange things. Hey, stick up my rectum. Let's hope that doesn't come to that, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Anyway, let's go back and see what we got. Emily Champion says, yes, but I'll still slap you. Yes, I'm sure you will. I shall get Julia's son, Elijah, to protect me. I shall get him out there and say, Elijah, keep that woman off me. Keep her off me at all times. So, you know, you've been warned. Malcolm Glazier is, fountain. Malcolm says, I'm too sensitive. That's my problem, says Ma. I'm too sensitive. He's had a go at me. I'm going under the table. I can't bear it. No, don't go under the table, Mark. It's all right. I apologise, Mark. I apologise. Please, please, please don't go under the table. Please don't go under. All Christmas presents have been kept under the table. And once you'll see them, that's it. It's all a big giveaway. I've got you an even bigger drone. Yes, I went out and lashed out and bought this fantastic drone that you can sit in. Yeah, you know, this will be this. By the way, this is the future of the cars. I think we'll all be having drones that we sit. You know, never mind planes that take off. We'll all have drones. We'll sit in drones. This is my theory, that we'll have drones with these helicopters. Except the helicopter things will be underneath. Obviously, they won't be up there because, you know, you turn like this and your nose gets clipped off. We don't want that. But I reckon there'll be it'll be quadcopters, and we'll be sitting in them in a road traffic and think, just, sod this for a bunch of China. And away you go. So, so I bought you one of those, Mark, a drone that you can sit in. So don't look under the table, for goodness sake. So that's all right. Stuart Douch. Careful, the headmaster's in. Quick. Eyes down, look at the table. Start doing your homework. Headmaster's here.
Yes, sir. Everything's all right, sir. No problem at all, sir. 5 and 5 is 4. 4 and 4 is 67. 8 and 8 is 88. Ha!
So Stuart will be coming round to doing a test a little bit later. He's got his chalk and his board rubber. Careful, all right, no need to lob it round. We're out of those. Oh, nice birch, sir. Yes, did you get it off the tree outside? Yes, sir. No, I've got newspaper stuffed down my pants, so you can't hit me. Thwack! Oh, that's no good. Hi, Richard, he says. Hello, sir. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. Your office is on fire, Stuart. Your office is on fire. Honest, you better go and take some buckets. You'll be hours in there sorting out the fire, sir. Well, we get Jenkins Minor. Oh, I'll have him. Yeah, it's all good fun. I don't know what we're talking about now. Oh, yes. Now, I wanted to play you in this video. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, you might find that this is mayhem and chaos, but you want to be on this side of the table. It's far worse. Now, I was going to play something in. Oh, yeah, here we go. You would like to be a patron. You might want to help support. What do you mean? Where are you going? Come back. You might want to support the show. You might want to support the Bald Explorer, help us make the videos that we do. You might want to assist by making a small donation, just a small one or a large one, of course. You may wish to make out your will, your last will and testimony out to the old Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and say, you know, when I croak it, I shall leave everything to the Vobes. That's obviously a good policy, and we can make more videos, many more videos, in fact. I might even share a bit with Mark, and he and I can make many more. We can have a hoot together, because we do have a hoot when we're together, mainly when we're doing the owling. Hoot, hoot, woo, woo, woo. Sorry, you may actually want to buy some medication for me. That's maybe more appropriate. Perhaps that's where the patronage money will go. But anyway, the point is you may want to help support the show, because if you do, you get my behind the scenes videos every week. Now, not many of the patrons actually watch that because it's all a load of... No, it is actually quite fun. But not many of them watch it. I don't know why. But you might want to watch it. So I thought I'd show you an excerpt from today. The lovely Cynthia, Julian and I went out to a church in Ashurst. I told you about that. We met this. Then once he'd gone, we recorded a little piece for the behind the scenes. This is just a sample of the stuff that you get at the end of the week. This is probably the reason why you don't bother to join, but it's all good fun. Take it away, Cynthia and myself.
I've got to be from that, right?
You're going to be serious this time?
I'm serious today. Very serious.
We were earlier when we were at the Bartolot Church. Oh, no, not the Bartolot Church. The Stopham Church, which...
Yeah, Bartolot.
Bartolot Church. We were a bit frivolous, and we've learnt our lesson, ladies and gentlemen. We've learnt our lesson. So, but we are, as promised, sitting in another church.
Yes, we are.
Where are we today?
We're at Ashurst.
We are.
In St James's.
Now, Ashurst, for those people who don't live in the area, is near Wiston?
Yes, and Stenning, actually. Not
And
too far from
Stenning.
Stenning. Out
Which-
in the middle of nowhere.
In West Sussex, so it's all very nice. And we've just interviewed a very lovely chap. He's, the oldest man in the village?
Yes, he was born here in 91 and a half.
1927, he said.
Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
That's a long time ago. And we didn't do so much about the church, actually, which was quite nice because he had so many different memories, particularly about pulling the church. He was a choir boy here, and he was pulling the church bell, but there's 3 bells, so he pulled one of the sallies in one hand, one of the sallies in the other hand, and one tied to his foot. It was,
He wouldn't do it for us. So,
no, he
yeah,
didn't demonstrate.
He couldn't do it anymore.
He was 91 or something.
That's exactly right.
But a sprightly man for 91, and I was very impressed. But I did ask him at the end, I said, you must have seen a lot of your friends and colleagues pass away. And he said, yeah, that's the thing, as you get older and nobody else dies.
You're stuck on your own.
You are stuck on your own. What time is the sermon, by the way?
I think we've missed it.
We've missed that. We've
Start
missed.
sitting here with my chestnuts.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about the
Well,
chestnuts.
Well, apparently I had to gather them for the lovely Julia.
I'll take one. Here we go. Look. Look into my eyes. You are falling into a deep sleep. You will tune in to the bald explorer. Yes. We are planting... There's nothing actually in this one, is there?
I don't know. No, you haven't opened it all up.
Oh, right.
I'm probably dropping them as I go around. But
We are...
there's some here.
We're planting acorns, chestnuts and horse chestnuts, and we need to get some ash ones and the sycamore ones. We're growing trees. You'll learn all about that very soon. We'll be boring you with that. So I saw the chestnut tree and I directed Cynthia.
Yeah, because they're prickly, I was directed.
Yeah, I have, presenter's hands.
Yes.
Soft, gentle presenter's hands.
And ideas above your station.
Far too many.
We started again.
Yeah. So obviously I instructed... Oh, we should say, interesting thing, talking about presenter's hands and artistic hands.
Yes.
Laurence Olivier was buried here.
No, his funeral was here. He's buried in Westminster Abbey.
Oh, he's buried
His
in...
actual funeral service was here.
I'm glad you corrected me, because I did actually say in the
No.
video that he was buried here.
No.
And John agreed with me.
No, he's definitely in Westminster Abbey.
Yeah, I'll be
But the funeral was here.
I'll be
for
correcting
family.
myself then.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes, could you correct yourself, please?
so it's Thursday, the 20th, didn't say that, did we, of September.
Is it?
Yeah. Isn't it?
Probably. Yeah, it is, I'm sure.
Something like that. 2 more days, and on Saturday the meet-up,
Oh, yes.
which you're snubbing.
That's not the word I use.
No, you said you couldn't make it. You were
I
busy.
cannot use.
Cannot
All the
come.
way down it, I'm
No.
far too busy. Is what
Far
I
too
said.
busy, yes.
I did not say.
You're
I'm
not bringing Echo,
snubbing
the
it.
lovely whippet.
No, Echo. I think Echo needs to be on air though.
We are going to do a walk with Echo. Echo is a whippet, just so you know.
But a bit of a character.
Certainly a beautiful showgirl whippet. So we're going to...
Yes.
We're definitely going to do a walk with that. We'll strap the GoPro to her. Anyway, we've waffled on too long.
We have.
So there we are. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
great.
So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. We're back from the church. Well, I'm sure Cynthia is also back from the church. I'm not quite sure. She's out there somewhere. Hello, Cynthia. All good fun and jolly good company. Hey, come back. That's more like it. There we go. Back a bit. Back a bit. There. splendid. There we are. Oh, how lovely. How lovely. So yes, if you become a patron, you see, you get our special secret behind the scenes video sent to your email box. So it's definitely worth having a gander at that. I should say that June Ann Mary's just joined us. Hello, June Ann Mary. Good evening from Worthing past and present. She says, I thought I would spell it for you. That's very kind. Thank you. It's very nice. Paul Hine has... I thought Paul Hine was here. He's just come back. Snubbing, shocking behaviour, says Mark Selwood. Yes, snubbing, shocking behaviour. But there we are. She's a very busy lady. She is very busy lady. She's fixing up the next of the walks, and she's got to make sure Echo, her lovely Whippet, is all ready for our walk as well, because Whippet is going to become an international superstar, which is great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we done that. We got no gallery for you today, unfortunately. As I explained, the lovely Julia, she's out on her roller discos. So instead, I thought I'd tell you about a couple of books I've been purchasing. You know what it's like, me and my books. Oh, no, Mr. Vobes. What have you been buying this time? What books are they? Oh, no. Well, some of you will have known if you listen to the Naked Englishman podcast that I do, which is another patron special. I bought a couple of books. As you know, I'm very interested in woodland at the moment, and I'm reading about woodland, and I'm reading lots of different books on woodland to try and, by osmosis, by that process of reading lots of stuff without necessarily sitting there and doing a university course or an open university course or one of those things, actually try and learn as much about it so that when I go walking through the woods, which I do from occasionally, usually when the taxman's looking for me, and I'm lost in the woods, I can talk and pontificate about certain aspects of the woods wherever I happen to be, or indeed trees in the town. You know, the lovely London plane with their lovely fruit that they hang on the trees. I don't know if you've seen that. We had that the other day. We're planting trees, aren't we, ladies and gentlemen? Not coconuts, horse chestnuts are not the same. You saw there in the thing, in that video, we got some chestnuts now to plant, so that's very nice. And the other thing, the other day I got, these are keys. Well, they're not really keys. Actually, keys are from ashes, aren't they? These are the helicopter seeds that you get from sycamore. And we'll be planting some of those. They're all on a little thing. But let's, first of all, before I introduce you to my books, which are very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have a quick look. It's time to have a quick look. I'm going to be doing this every time just to see if anything has happened to the acorn that we planted in Wednesday's show. You may remember in Wednesday's show, the lovely Julia and I planted an acorn in this pot. We also did it in a couple of other pots over there, but don't worry about those for the moment because it's this pot is the one that we're particularly interested in. And I'm going to inspect now to see if the acorn, any development has happened from it. So first of all, we'll have a little look in the pot. Hold on 1 second. Let's look in the pot. Here we go. Oh, I need the other camera up. Hang on. I need to just zoom over here for a second. Let's look into the pot. Look deep into the pot. You can't actually see anything in that pot because the light is not strong enough. Can't even see it. But anyway, you can see the edge of the pot. So no growth there, unfortunately. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? I'm going to gently now, have a nudge down in there. I'm going to take my glasses down a bit because I can't see. Oh, wait. What's that? What's happening? There is a tiny, tiny amount of earth on it. So not much has happened, so I'm going to cover it back up. So actually, since Wednesday, not a lot. So we're going to cover it up. It needs to be down a couple of inches. Cover it back up there. Stick it back in the pot over there. Grab the towel here. Wipe one's fingers. And, we'll inspect that from time to time just to have a look. Maybe twice a day is too much. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, never mind all that nonsense. Let's just quickly go back to the comments. This is it. Replying to Richard. Oh, obviously Richard Suggett. Thought you said you were writing was bad the other night, Richard Suggett. Not quite sure what you're on about there. Oh, yes, of course. Helicopter seeds. It reminded them of Takes Me Back. Okay, it is, but my wife is checking it over with me. Not like my strange dream with Mark English. You started again, haven't you? You started all this talking amongst yourselves. I don't know. Great update on the pot. Thank you, Mark. That's much more like it. Now, one of the books I purchased is this rather terrific book here, ladies and gentlemen, by H.E. Bates, called Through the Woods. And it's a lovely book written in 1930. I believe it was written in 1930. I wanted to read a little section to you because you'll understand. You can talk amongst yourselves now. You'll understand why it's such a fantastic book. H.E. Bates, he's famous, of course, for writing The Darling Buds of May, but he also wrote other books such as Love for Lydia, which I've read. It's a lovely book, and a number of other books. Particularly, he was employed during the Second World War and wrote a number of stories about pilots in the Second World War, which is fascinating. Very good, very marvellous author. Anyway, this book is about, it's, I suppose in a way it's a sort of personal journey, and yet he's explaining woods as they are, and back in 1930, so you get this sort of idea. And that's really, I love this little passage I'm going to read to you, because he's gone off into a wood, and he's sort of talking, it's all in the present tense, if you see what I mean. It's all in the present tense, and he's gone off and he's exploring this wood near his childhood, and I think he was brought up in Northamptonshire. So Paul Watts, if you're out there, this is your sort of territory. So that's Mark Selwood, by the way. Yeah, Roller Disco Julia is on the watch, so be warned. Oh, lovely Julia, hello, lovely Julia. She's out there. It's lovely. So. He's describing this wood, and what he does is he goes into this wood and he's telling you all in very poetic language. He's telling you all about the lovely things are in the wood, and you follow this path through the bracken and then into the wood. And he says, you go through the wood and then you get to the other end of the wood, and you're going to it's all very nice, but if you come back, you've got to go back through the same route you came, you see, on this particular wood. So he says, well, I think what we'll do is we'll trespass around the wood. You get a different perspective if you go off the main path and you have a little stroll around in the wood. He says, but you've got to be careful because of the gamekeeper there. So listen to this. This is quite fun. I quite like this. He says, so we go straight on under the almost sultry woodside until the corner comes, the turn, the angle of the wood beyond which the bracken begins. The keeper's hut is in sight. We have almost completed the circuit. Between two young oaks on a stretched string hang the keeper's victims, the wild enemies of the precious, tame pheasants, whose destiny in life is to be cared for more tenderly than most babies, and to be massacred a little more brutally than most soldiers. There they hang, the enemies of the squirearchy. Half a dozen hedgehogs, a brown owl or two, stoats and weasels, jays and magpies, a whole fur shop of young grey squirrels, with one almost white, a pure silver grey that should have made a good cheap fur for any keeper's wife. And here, too, you see the reason for much of the wood's quietness, because earlier he's told how quiet the wood was, you see. Its lack of apparent life. Its life is systematically exterminated. All life, that is, except the pheasant and the rabbit, who are reserved for death on a socially higher plane. For the heart and core of these woods is contained, for those who own them, into one small space, a little oval, the pheasant's egg. If you do not understand this, if it seems to you extraordinary or fantastic or even monstrous that an egg of one bird can create a position of autocracy, then let me leave you here so that you may moon about the wood at your heart's content until for some time between now and 5 o'clock, when the keeper comes. You may discover a curious thing, that for him, the keeper, you are no more than a snake or a weasel or a hedgehog or a predatory beast, a potential sucker of tame eggs. To him, you are just that. it will not avail you anything that if you tell it, it will not avail you anything at all if you tell him that you're not interested, that you are interested in natural life, that you've never touched an egg in your born days, and that you are here solely to taste the wood and the beauty of the wood alone. You are regarded by him as a potential poacher, in spite of all your protestations of innocence, and in spite of the fact that you may not know your snare from a potato net, or even, which is just as likely, a rabbit from a hare. It doesn't matter. The pheasant is the lord of life, the most divine sovereign of the woods. You must not, by word or look or trespass, do anything to upset his chances of an ordained death. Like the murderer who falls sick on the eve of execution, he must be kept alive, tenderly, jealously, at all costs, in order that the state, the squire, may not be cheated of the ultimate satisfaction of prearranged extermination. It goes on and on and on, but I just thought I'd read that. But it was so lovely about, how the fact that all the animals and everything else is killed so that the pheasant's egg can create a pheasant, and that the pheasant, the gamekeeper looks after that pheasant so it can be tenderly looked after and nurtured and everything, so that the squire can shoot the bloody thing out of the sky. It's an interesting thing. It's an anti-hunting thing, really, but. Anyway, that was only a little excerpt. I read that earlier today, and I thought, I'll read that out. I don't know how well I did. Probably not very well at all. Anyway, that's one book that I had. So that's the other. Now, the other book that I bought, I wanted to tell you about because it costs a lot of money. This book, it cost a lot of money, to be honest with you. I couldn't get a second-hand copy, and normally I try to get second-hand copies, but I fell in love with it. my heart went bleep, bleep, bleep. Fell in love with the blooming thing. And I've got some corporate work coming up, and so I'm paying it out of the corporate thing. It's quite, as I mentioned, it's quite an expensive book, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't want you to, fall over and fawn yourself when you discover. But it's called The New Silver. And a long time ago, back in the 17th century, John Evelyn, the diarist, he was interested in woods, and he wrote a definitive work back then in something like 1650. I can't remember the exact date, 1650, 1660, something like that, about woods, trees, and the trees that you find, because a lot of people and he wrote lots of information about trees, and it was a fantastic work of art. Of course, it's a little bit out of date now because it was published in 1650, whenever it was. John Evelyn, the diarist, around at the same time of Pepys, Samuel Pepys, one of those sort of chaps. Anyway, a couple of people thought Gabriel Hemery and Sarah Simblett thought it'd be a good idea to update it and illustrate it and bring it up to date and actually put it into English. But it's a scholarly work, ladies and gentlemen. It's a scholarly work. So I bought it. I'm making a collection on books on woods, trees, and that sort of thing. So I bought it. So I bought this book, and then I bought this book. And one is somewhat bigger than the other. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very expensive. Did I mention it was expensive? It is expensive. The New Silver, and it's an amazing book. It is. I have to say, it is an amazing book. I don't get any commission if you buy any from me, by the way. I ought to. But it's got these beautiful. I don't want to ruin it by opening it up and breaking the spine too much. But it's got these beautiful illustrations, all of them illustrated by whatever her name was, Sarah Simblett. And she apparently she runs art courses and things, but it is magnificent. Look at that. There we are. Look at that, beautiful. And of course it's scholarly, so it's got lots of details about all sorts of different woods, based on the John Evelyn book. It's an absolute masterpiece. It is fantastic. It's got stuff about willow and yew and me and various things. Did I find a bit? Oh, here's a bit about the larch. I don't know anything about the larch, as it happens, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a little bit about the larch, just for a bit of a... No, I'm going to get all the old words wrong, of course. The planting dukes of Atholl established millions of conifers across their considerable estate north of Pitlochry in Perthshire. I probably pronounced that wrong. Among them were European larches, collected as young trees from the slopes of Austrian Tyrol in 1738. These deciduous mountain trees were brought back to Britain by stagecoach and became the source of seed for successive Duke's gargantuan planting efforts over several generations. It is rumoured that cannon loaded with larch seed were fired across difficult to access rocky slopes. One of these original trees, the parent larch, remains alive today near Dunkeld Cathedral, wherever that is. I just love the idea that this Duke thought he would plant the whole area, and there were some difficult places to plant, so he bung the seeds inside a cannon and fired them. And the seeds obviously fluttered down, and you know, it's a good way of planting trees. Anyway, this is an amazing book, and of course we know that paper comes from trees, and I have to say, you know, it's a good use if you're going to use trees for paper to talk about other trees. You know, it's almost cannibalism, but it's not quite, if you see what I mean. What was that? Black something and thumb, blackthorn and plum, and all sorts of lovely, beautiful book, popular. And anyway, it's I just wanted to share that because I was very excited, ladies and gentlemen. I was very excited. It's a beautiful book, more than a coffee table book. That is a great work, and to be able to get that knowledge into one's head would be lovely. I'd love that. So there we are. 51 minutes into the show, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Pilfold says that talking of pheasants, you wanted some tongue twisters. How about doing the pheasant one? Oh, yes. There was a pheasant plucker. How does it go? Have you got the actual text? Give me the text. That would be... I'm not quite sure of the text. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper, which peck of pickled pepper did Peter Piper pick? Is always a good one. Of all the felt I've ever felt, I've never felt a piece of felt that felt like that felt. That's another good one. Red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. Try saying that one half a dozen times. She sells seashells on the sea. I don't know the rest of it. She sells seashells on the seashore. Are you sure she sells seashells on the seashore? No, I'm not sure whether she sells seashells on the seashore or whether she's a door-to-door salesman. I'm not 100% sure. Linda Kane says £4. £4 of what? £4 of old syrup. It's quite nice. Beautiful drawings in the book, says Vicky Allam. It's a very good book, beautiful book. Thank you very much. Andy Joy has arrived just as we're finishing off. I'm not a pleasant plucker. I'm not a pheasant plucker. I'm a pheasant plucker's son. I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes. I think you have to say it a bit faster than that, don't you? Oh, it's just suddenly moved. Have you just edited it? I'm not a pheasant plucker. I'm a pheasant plucker's son. I'm only I nearly said it then. I'm not a pheasant plucker. I'm a pheasant plucker's son. I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes. You try saying that. I'm a mother pheasant plucker. I pluck mother pheasants. I am the most pleasant mother pheasant. Who said that? Ella's Beehive. Thanks for that. I am a mother pheasant plucker. I pluck mother pheasants. I am the most pleasant mother pheasant plucker. Oh, Seymour. Hang on. I've got to go to Seymour. Who is Seymour? I am a mother pheasant plucker. I pluck mother pheasants. I am the most pleasant mother pheasant plucker who ever plucked a mother pheasant. Oh, there we go. Terry Ball says, I'm not a pheasant plucker. No, it's the same one. I'm only plucking pheasants. Yes, that's it. Buffalo, 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 buffalo is grammatically correct sentence. No joke. What? Buffalo, 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 buffalo is grammatically... Well, it's just... I don't understand that one. It's repeating the same word. This is a good one. I like this one. She shines. Get it right, Vobes. She shines and she sits and she sits and she shines. She shines. She shines and she sits and she sits and she shines. Seymour Butts. What about him? He's a nice bloke. I think he is, what is it? Seymour Butts? He must be either a doctor or an undertaker. Or maybe he's, what's the opposite end of a gynecologist? He must, anyway, it's a bit of a bum job, whatever he is. That one always gets me baffled. Yes, so can you explain why buffalo, 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 buffalo is grammatically correct and what that means? That would be good. And if you've got any more of those tongue twisters, that would be very helpful. I'm just trying to think of unique New York. That's sort of not really a tongue twister as such, but it's a good mouth exercise. I like that one very much. What else have we got? We got 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, before I'm off. 5 minutes. So see if you can come up with something for 5 minutes. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, if you have got nothing else on your books, then we are meeting up on the 22nd, and it's going to be great fun at the Liss, at the Spread Eagle pub in Liss in Hampshire, and for 12 o'clock it'll be lovely. Upsy Davy, Lavy Davy, Wavy Savy Gravy. That's not, yeah, gravy, that's right. What is this? Upsy Davy, Lavy Davy, Wavy Savy Gravy. Oh, nice. Very nice. Oh, here we go. Dave Ford's got one. Hello, Dave. Didn't see you lurking in the background. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I believe the correct answer is 361 cubic centimetres of wood a day for the average woodchuck. Oh, yes. How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Thank you. A tongue-twisting show would be good, says Dave Baker. Well, we're kind of into the tongue-twisting now. Betty Botter. Okay, that's a good one. Betty Botter bought some butter. But she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, will it make my batter bitter? Betty Botter bought some butter. She said the butter's bitter. But if I put the batter... if I put it in my batter... Oh, yeah. Sorry, just do that one more time. Okay, love, take 2. Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, will it make my batter bitter? Oh, wait a minute, Seymour. A good old Seymour on his butt. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So 'twas better... Betty Botter bought a bit of better butter. Ah, got it. Right, one last time, all the way through. Are you ready? Betty, don't move anything now, because my eyes are scanning as we go. Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, will it make my batter bitter? Don't move. It's just gone up the screen. But a better bit of butter will make my batter better. So 'twas it better that Betty Botter bought a bit of better butter. I need to learn that one. But John says buffalo animals from Buffalo City that other buffalo animals from Buffalo the city that other buffalo animals from Buffalo City. Verb to bully. Oh, buffalo. I didn't know it was a verb. I've never heard that before. So in other words, they bully buffaloes from Buffalo. Oh, I see. Buffalo. Is buffalo a plural? Can you have buffaloes, or is buffalo animals? Is buffalo singular or plural? Should you have buffaloes? Ian Beddoes says, anyone bringing a camera tomorrow? The answer is yes. With all the rhymes, David Baker says. With all the rhymes. Yes, that'd be nice. Yes, Mark, and my dad, and probably lots of others, and I'm only not going to bring any. Your tongue needs untwisting. Yes, sorry about that. Steve Polfo says, isn't that like saying cats, dog, cats, London, dogs, Brighton, bully cats, London? You jest, surely it's trying to stop them. What? Oh, yes, sorry, that's a thing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm getting slightly indulged there with Betty Botter's bit of butter. And if Betty Butter's picked a peck of all the felt I've ever felt with his unique lorry, as a woodchuck would, then she sells on the seashore that buffaloes have got a better buffalo than Biffily Boffily Bamboo, whoever he might be, wherever he is, on whatever side of the universe. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to the end of the show. It's been lovely to talk to me. Thank you for joining me. Hello there. Thank you for joining me. Hello, Richard. Kevin here. Hello, Kevin. Nice to see you. Richard. I've got the bees. I've got to work on the Eric one. It's not quite right. Buffalo is singular or plural. Ah, very interesting. That's very nice. And Steve Polford says, if you're going up a tree again, I might accidentally change at Clapham. Oh, why is that? And chop it down. Clapham Junction for Liss. So there we go. If you're going up a tree, I'll go up a tree. If we can find a tree, I'll go up a tree. I'm usually off my tree, to be honest with you. Nikki Jess says, okay, Richard, good night, and everybody have a lovely weekend. Nikki Jess is one of those people who just can't wait to get away. But she's sort of there and I mean, she's very nice, she's very keen and all that. We love her dearly. Nikki Jess, we love you dearly. But you are the sort of person who goes, oh, it looks like it's coming to the end. Goodbye. Anyway, I hope has she gone? Good. Are you coming, Nikki Jess, tomorrow? It'd be lovely to see you. Robert Crozer is saying, I'm a pleasant plucker. I'm sure you're a pleasant fella, really. Dave Baker says, great show, Richard. Really enjoyed it. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody else. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much for watching. And I haven't played the music of anything today because we didn't get a gallery today. Too busy, you see. Too busy. Busy bee. What have you got in the hive for me? Not a lot, mate. What are we looking for? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's just left for me to say, when you hear this music... And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost like the show runs by clockwork, doesn't it? Yeah, it winds us all up. Thanks. I will see you not on Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Possibly on Wednesday, not too sure, but definitely the following Friday, and maybe in between. So have a good time wherever it is. And if you're coming to Liss, I'll see you then. But from me, the Vobes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for talking in between and all that. And thank you for putting all your comments on, because without those comments and without the silliness, without the fun, we wouldn't have a single thing to do, would we? We certainly wouldn't. So, goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye. Time must go. It's very nice. Oh, Nikki Jess is coming tomorrow, but what did you say? But she's oft got to make my tea. I've ordered her in the kitchen. Oh, I see. Steady on, old chap. Right, all right then. Well, it's lovely to see you. Got to find the end credit. There it is. Until the next time, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.